Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. My name is Samantha Genzer, and I'm going to be your show host for you guys today. We have a very exciting episode for y'all. We are going to be covering the new media policy in the WNBA and Caitlin Clark's Sideline Spat with her coach, Eastbourne International updates, preview of the U.S. Gymnastics Olympic Trials, the PWHL offseason moves, and make sure you guys stay till the end of the show to hear about the Oklahoma Sooners softball transfers and its impact on the team roster for next season. Before we begin, I wanted to ask you guys to like and follow our show, and to become a part of our show, you can tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, we do get a lot of questions that come in from viewers during the show, so to ensure that your questions and comments get read on the air and answered, I ask that you use the link gsmcpodcast.net. This puts your questions at the top of the list so that I see them, and of course, it really helps the show. Again, the link is gsmcpodcast.net. Now, let's get started. I hope you guys enjoy today's content. Okay, so we're starting today's show by talking about some WNBA things. We're going to be talking about the implications of a new media policy on rookie players and the heated in-game disagreement between Caitlin Clark and her coach Christie Sides, which has sparked widespread discussion on coaching strategies and player roles in crucial game moments. So this past Sunday afternoon, the Chicago Sky celebrated a thrilling 88-87 victory over the Indiana Fever. Sorry if my mic is getting all in the way. I'm just moving it. I feel like I'm talking super loud right now, so I'm just moving it away from me. So they celebrated their victory by 1 point with the Indiana Fever. This marked their second consecutive win. This game was particularly significant for Angel Reese, as it was her first victory over Caitlin Clark since their encounter at the 2023 NCAA Women's Basketball National Championship. Since that game, Reese had faced Clark 3 times and suffered losses in each, with 2 of those on the WNBA courts. The Sky are now looking forward to their next challenge against the Las Vegas Aces on Thursday, which is tomorrow. So as the team prepares for this important matchup, there's a noticeable shift in their media strategy concerning rookies Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso. Under a new WNBA media policy, season access policy, teams can opt to exempt 2 players from morning shoot-around access each week. This week, the Sky have chosen Reese and Kamilla Cardoso for this exemption. Despite being shielded from some media engagements, both will be available for pregame and postgame interviews, including at the upcoming game against Las Vegas tomorrow. Given their high profiles as the number 7 and number 3 picks in the 2024 WNBA drafts, their limited availability has certainly not gone unnoticed. The intent behind this policy may be to protect players, yet it brings about several potential issues, especially for high-profile athletes like Reese and Cardoso. Angel Reese, known for her reluctance to engage with the media, seems a natural choice for this type of protection. However, by reducing her exposure, the WNBA may be inadvertently hindering her growth as a public figure, which is an essential aspect of her professional career. This interaction with the media is not merely a duty, but a significant opportunity to enhance visibility, engage with fans, and build a personal brand, all of which are critical components of success in the realm of professional sports. Kamilla Cardoso might initially find some relief from the media's glare, but in the long run, this could delay her ability to forge a strong connection with fans and develop her own unique brand. Media interactions serve as more than mere obligations. They are platforms where players can express their individuality, share their journeys, and generally connect with their audience. And as someone who is a student studying journalism, of course, I want to see these players interacting with the media. Moreover, the implications of this policy extend beyond individual player development to broader issues of equality and standards in sports. For example, if a male athlete in a high-profile league such as the NFL were exempted from media sessions, it would likely provoke public and media outcry. Equal standards in sports mean holding all athletes accountable to the same responsibilities, regardless of gender. By potentially lowering these standards for Reese and Cardoso, the WNBA might unintentionally imply that female athletes require more coddling, which could undermine the push for equality in sports. And women have dealt with that issue for so long. Since the start of the WNBA, there's been certain like sensitivity and coddling issues with women's equality in sports. It's very frustrating. Also, I wanted to add that this policy may also inadvertently reinforce outdated stereotypes about female athletes' capacities to manage public scrutiny and pressure, which is what I was basically going at, which is counterproductive to the goals of empowerment and equality. For rising stars like Reese and Cardoso, navigating media responsibilities is part of their professional growth, offering them a chance to enhance their public personas and marketability. The reason that Caitlin Clark got so popular is because of her marketability and her media attention. And by just exempting two players from that really limits their opportunities. And we have seen that Angel Reese has not gotten much credit for improving and increasing the popularity of the WNBA. So this is kind of very disadvantageous to her. So the WNBA's policy, while potentially protective, I see it as protective too in a way, might also be constrictive, limiting the growth of its players and the league itself. In striving for equality and player welfare, the WNBA should reassess the long-term effects of such policies. Embracing media exposure not only helps players like Angel Reese and Kamilla Cardoso develop resilience and a public presence, but also promotes the league's growth by highlighting the compelling stories and talents of its athletes. On more positive notes, I am happy to say that they are at least still getting that after the game, post-game conference and all that. So it's not just like they're completely exempt from media attention, but it's still like frustrating. So now let's talk more about some things that went down on Sunday night during the Chicago Sky and Indiana Fever game. Caitlin Clark found herself at the center of a visible disagreement with Fever coach Christie Sides during the game's critical closing stages. Despite her capacity as one of the most formidable shooters in women's basketball, Clark took only 2 shots in the last 7 minutes, opting instead to pass to her teammates. This decision sparked a heated exchange between Clark and Coach Sides that was captured on social media, showcasing Clark's frustration through emphatic gestures and an exasperated sigh. This incident quickly became a focal point for fans and commenters alike, with many expressing disappointment over Clark's limited involvement in the quarter's crucial moments like shooting. Critiques ranged from calls for Clark to adopt a more assertive approach in her gameplay to criticisms of Coach Sides' strategy, suggesting a deviation from successful plays like the pick and roll, which Chicago struggled to defend. Some fans limited the missed opportunity to leverage Clark's renowned shooting abilities, particularly in the clutch, where her track record at the college level have been nothing short of stellar, and so far in the WNBA as well. Adding to the debate, former NFL quarterback Robert Griffin III and numerous others pointed out that Clark should have been the one taking the crucial shots towards the end, emphasizing her role as a clutch player for such high-stakes moments. Meanwhile, others' voices argued that Coach Sides failed to create effective plays for Clark, potentially sidelining her talents when the team needed them most. In the aftermath, while some criticized her for not seizing more shooting opportunities, Clark defended her decisions, highlighting her trust in her teammates and her record-setting 13 assists that evening. Yet, even in her post-game comments, Coach Sides expressed a wish for Clark to have been more aggressive, noting a specific moment late in the fourth quarter where a decisive shot by Clark could have altered the game's outcome. During the post-game press conference, Sides said, "I never wanted her to not be aggressive and take shots. I thought she was going to take it to the rim or pull up right. That would have been a great shot for her and for her team." This whole thing really shines a light on what it's like being a young star in the big leagues and the tricky decisions coaches have to make when the game is on the line. When it comes to a player of Caitlin Clark's caliber, expectations are sky high, rightly so, given her track record as a top shooter. In some sense, rightly so. In the intense final moments against the Chicago Sky, her decision to pass rather than shoot raised eyebrows. Honestly, Clark probably should have taken more shots. And here's why. In basketball, particularly in those nail-biting last minutes, and y'all know for me saying this is meaning a lot because I'm a huge, pass the ball person. And I do really appreciate that in women's sports where it's very selfless, it feels like, in women's sports a lot of the times. But anyway, so me saying this is saying a lot. I do feel like she should have taken more shots. In basketball, particularly in those nail-biting last minutes, you want your best shooter to have the ball. It's not just about being, selfish. It's about playing to your strengths. Clark's ability to make crucial shots is one of her biggest assets, and with the game on the line, leading into that strength could have changed the outcome for the Fever. While teamwork is vital, recognizing moments when individual brilliance can shine is equally important. Clark stepping up to take those shots could serve as a spark, not just for her own confidence, but for the team's momentum in crucial game phases. Turning to Coach Christie Sides' decisions, It's a bit more complicated. Coaching isn't just about setting plays, it's about reading the game dynamically and adapting to the unfolding scenarios. By limiting Clark's opportunities to take shots in closing stages, Sides may have missed leveraging one of her team's best assets. However, there might have been strategic reasons behind her choices. Perhaps she was aiming to diversify the play to keep the Skye off balance, or to foster a more team-centered approach, preventing predictability. I don't know. Yet, in high-stakes moments, sometimes sticking with what or who works best is crucial. I felt like that. It would have been like the easiest way to go. It feels like to be like, no, just keep shooting Clark. It appears Sides could have perhaps underestimated the impact of letting Clark take charge, maybe, which is something even seasoned coaches can learn from. In the end, while the intention to utilize the whole team is commendable, not making the most of Clark's shooting prowess when it counted might have been an oversight. Moving forward, integrating feedback from this game could refine Sides' approach, balancing between, tactical diversity and making full use of star players. The public's reaction of Caitlin Clark's limited shooting in the game's crucial moments and her visible disagreement with Coach Christie Sides has been loud and clear. Fans and commenters expressing frustration reflected broader expectation. When you have a star player known for clutch performances, you utilize that talent fully, especially under pressure. It is a true performance, show, not just a game. This outcry isn't just about one game or one missed opportunity. It's about what fans perceive as a misalignment between a player's capabilities and how they're being used on the court. So, I don't know. I just want to say that this reaction kind of highlights a couple of key aspects of sports culture today that I found because, this is going to sound so weird, but when I was younger and I would go to sports games, especially baseball, this is so random, but I would honestly think they were all set up. I actually did. That was just a stupid thing that I thought when I was younger. I was convinced that this was all set up. Obviously, I don't think that now, but I'm going to say that there is a big sports culture of having more of a performance in a game for media attention and for money purposes, rather than playing a good game or a valid game. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's making sense in my head, so that's all I'm saying. But anyway, so what I'm going with sports culture is first, there's an undeniable appetite for heroics in sports. We know that people love seeing big players step up in big moments. It's thrilling, it's dramatic, and it's what many fans watch sports for. Second, the reaction underscores the growing influence of public opinion shaped by social media and instant analysis. Every decision made by players and coaches can be scrutinized in real time by thousands, creating a pressure cooker that can affect decision-making both on and off the court. Also, the intensity of the response also indicates a shift in how fans engage with sports. It's not just about supporting a team, but also about understanding and critiquing the strategies behind the game. This engagement is a double-edged sword. While it can add depth to fan experiences and enhance their connection to the team, it can also ramp up the pressure on players and coaches to conform to public expectations. And sometimes that's not always the best thing because, your coaches should typically know best. Anyway, ultimately, the vocal reactions to the game strategy and Clark's role within a mirror sports environment that is more interactive and analytical than ever before, and I do appreciate that in some way. It also serves as a reminder to players and coaches that in the modern sports era, every move might just be as scrutinized by the fans as it is by the opponents. So, yeah, that's how I'm ending this segment here. We are now going to move on to the next segment where we talk about the Eastbourne International, which is a very important women's tennis event. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a short little break so I can get a drink of water because I literally run out of breath whenever I speak. It's so embarrassing. Okay, so I will see you guys very soon.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, I'll diss my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing losing it. The noose it fits, some losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
Hello guys, welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the media policy change in the WNBA and the Christie Sides and Caitlin Clark's interaction that went viral on social media. We're now going to talk about the Eastbourne International in the WTA. The Eastbourne International is taking place from June 22nd to the 29th, and this is the final women's tournament before Wimbledon. This is a very exciting competition with several star names set to take the court, including 4 former Grand Slam finalists or champions. So in this segment, we're going to recap how the competition is going so far. Before we start, I want to remind you guys to like and follow the show and to become a part of our show to tip and donate using the link gsmcpodcast.net. Also, this link puts your questions at the top of the list so that they get read on the air and you get that interactive aspect. Interactive aspect of the GSMC Sports Network. Also, make sure you guys sit at the end of the show to hear about the Oklahoma University softball transfers and how that will affect their team. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, we can actually get started talking about the Eastbourne International. Okay, so going into this competition, the top 5 WTA seeds are, and I'm going in order of first to fifth. They were Elena Rybakina, Jessica Pegula, Danielle Collins, Jelena Ostapenko, and Madison Keys. The reigning champions of the specific competition in the women's single is Madison Keys from the U.S., and in the women's double, it's Desiree Krosic from the U.S. and Demi Schuurs from the Netherlands. Now to the recap. On day 1, British stars Ellie McDonald and Rana Stober clinched some of their biggest wins of their career. Lexus Ickley Trophy quarterfinalist McDonald clinched the upset of the day against world number 50 Anna Bognan, 6-4, 4-6, and 6-2. The British wildcard had the perfect response after losing the second set, reeling off 5 straight games before closing out her best victory to date. Stober, who made the second round in Ickley last week, beat world number 66 Kristina Busa 6-2 and 7-5 in 1 hour and 27 minutes to move one match away from her first WTA 500 maiden draw. On some sadder news, Britain's Sarah Beth Gray lost to former world number 25 Angelina Kalinina 6-1 and 6-3. Moving on to day 2. Oh, someone just commented, Alex Morgan is out. I'm actually talking about that tomorrow, so please stay tuned for tomorrow's episode because I am so excited to talk about how Alex Morgan is out of the Olympics. Spoiler alert. So please stay tuned for that tomorrow. Not today, unfortunately. I'm literally was like tears in my eyes. Okay, moving on, but back to tennis. On day 2, Rana Stober and Ella McDonald bowed out in the final round of qualifying. Stober exited after a close battle with top seed and world number 45 Magda Linette, 6-3, 4-6, 6-2 in 1 hour and 55 minutes. The young Brit, who claimed the biggest win of her career the preview day against Spain's Cristina Busa, showed great fight to save break points at 4-4 in the second before going on to force the decider. However, the Poles' experience carried her through to the third. Stober had 2 chances to break back in the second game of the set at 15-40, but from there, Linette only lost 2 points on serve the rest of the way. McDonald lost out on court 1 to world number 70, Ashlyn Kruger, 6-4 and 6-0. The young Brit overturned an early 3-0 deficit in the opening set to get back to 4-4 before the American reeled off 8 games to book her place in the main draw. Now, on day 3, Harriet Dart put in a fighting performance to beat Czech Republic's Marie Bušková 7-5, 6-7, and 6-4 in an epic match lasting over 3.5 hours. In her first top 50 win since she defeated Zhang Shua in the first round of Eastbourne last year, Dart brought her absolute A game for the home crowd on the sunny south coast. I'm so sorry. I am saying these words in my head and I'm like, wait. I'm having one of those days where you can say the word correctly in your head, but then as soon as it comes out of your mouth, it's just not how you say it. So I apologize. That's the day I'm having, apparently. Okay, so Dart said it was an incredible match. So many up and downs. Marie is an incredible fighter and always makes it very tough. And I'm a bit surprised these long matches are coming on grass, to be honest. I'm very happy that it turned my way this time. The victory books a second round clash with Sofia Kenin after top seed and former Wimbledon champion Elena Rybakina withdrew from the tournament. Dart came back from a double breakdown in the opening set as she started to ask serious questions of the world number 38, forcing her to make more and more mistakes. With frustration building for Bukova, Dart only continued to raise her game and won 5 of the last 6 games to go a set in front. In the second, Dart came back from a 4-1 deficit again and battled hard to force a tie break, but facing her 4th set point, the Briton pushed a smash wide to set the Czech draw level. A former quarterfinalist in Eastbourne, Dart upped her game in the biggest moments and she came out swinging in the third. She broke for the 7th and 8th time in the match to go 3-1 in front and then managed to pull together 3 straight service games for the first time to see out the win. Elsewhere in the women's draw, Polish qualifier Magda Ledet staged a huge comeback to defeat world number 25 Anastasia, and I'm so sorry because I am not going to be able to pronounce this name correctly, Pavlyuchenkova, 1-6, 7-6, and 6-4 in 2 hours and 18 minutes. Anna Kalinina beat Sorana Cristea 6-3 and 6-2, while former champion Jelena Ostapenko knocked out Great Britain 7-6, sorry, not 6-6, 7-6 and 6-1 in an hour and 27 minutes. Lastly, 2021 U.S. Open runner-up Leylah Fernandez beat 7th seed and former French Open champion Barbara Krejcikova 6-2, 3-6, and 6-2. Again, now moving on to day 4, Emma Raducanu and Katie Butler join Harriet Dart as a trio. Bertis players look set for the second round of the women's singles. Raducanu marked her main draw debut with an explosive 6-4 and 6-0 victory over 2017 U.S. Open champion Sloane Stephens. British number 1 Butler survived a second set scare to defeat Croatia's Petra Martic 6-1 and 7-6. However, Lily Miyazaki exited in the first round, bowing out in straight sets. 21-year-old Raducanu had to come back from a breakdown twice in the opening set, but the American was simply unable to deal with the intense ball striking from the other side of the net. Having turned things around from 4-3 and a break behind to lead 5-4 in the opener, Raducanu snapped a stunning forehand winner down the line to bring about set point, which she took at the first time of asking. After clinching a tight first set, Raducanu hit full flight. She went on a break to Stephens 6 times in a row and closed out the second set in just 27 minutes. In the second round, she will face last week's champion in Berlin, Jessica Pegula, who is from the U.S. Y'all know her name. Y'all know her. Butler, on the other hand, came out flying, taking the first 5 games, losing just 8 points. With the first set wrapped up, everything looked to be going Butler's way as she edged out 3-1 in front. However, Martic was far from her outer fight, and as her game continued to build and the slice backhand came into full effect, cracks started to appear in the Brits' game. Martic had the chance to serve out the set at 5-3, led 5-1 in the tiebreak, and had 3 set points, but Butler refused to let it go. With her second match point on serve deep in the breaker, the Croatian steel defense gave way as Butler secured a second round clash with former champion Jelena Ostapenko. Meanwhile, Miyazaki was defeated by WTA doubles world number 1 Elise Mertens 6-1 and 6-2. Despite breaking early in the first set, the British wildcard struggled to capitalize on her first serves, winning just 46% of points when it landed throughout the match. The 28-year-old Brit now turns her attention to Wimbledon, where she will have a main draw wild card. Lastly, let's recap day 5. British number 1, Katie Butler and Harriet Dart continued their dominance on the grass. Butler took down former champion Jelena Ostapenko 6-4 and 7-5 in just over 2 hours, which I thought was super impressive. While Dart came through a tough 3-set battle against Sofia Kenin to win 6-3, 6-7, and 6-0. Day 5 marked a career-first meeting between Butler and the world number 13, who are both renowned for their big hitting and aggressive styles of play, but it was the Brit who dominated the opening stages of the match. Landing an impressive 76% of the first serves in, Butler eased through her service games and used her power to hit through the Latvian as she raced ahead to a 5-2 lead. However, Ostapenko refused to let the set get away from her easily, clawing one of the breaks back as Butler attempted to serve out the set. The two-time Rosacea Open Nottingham champion made sure she didn't make the same mistake twice as she eventually got herself over the line on her 7th set point. After 4 breaks of serve in the second, a tie-break looked to be on the horizon, but one final blow. Why? Okay, that is how I've always pronounced blow, is like blow, which is so not correct. Okay, I'm like embarrassing myself. There are certain words that I've always pronounced incorrectly, but people just go with it, like blow. I don't know why, but I was like, anyway. The final blow from Butler saw her edge her nose in front once again. Stepping up to serve for the match, Butler slammed a thunderous serve down the tee before the Latvian hit a backhand wide to catapult the Brit to victory, marking her joint best appearance in Eastbourne. British number 2, Dart, faced a tough opponent in the former world number 48, Keenan. After the Brits secured the first set, both players struggled behind their serve, with neither able to take control of the second set. After 6 breaks of serve, we headed towards a tie break, which saw the Americans sprint to a 6-3 lead before leveling to a tie to a set apiece. However, Dart ramped up the intensity in deciding set, winning 93% of points behind her first serve as she strung together 6 consecutive games to reach the final 8, where she set up a blockbuster meeting against 2021 U.S. Open runner-up Leylah Fernandez. Okay, so we are now going to move on to the next segment. There's a question: if I could meet any sports star, who would it be? And they said Alex Morgan, Caitlin Clark. That's so valid. I would love to meet Alex Morgan and Caitlin Clark. It's Anne. Oh my gosh. That is so difficult. I would love to meet Alex Morgan. I've been a huge fan of her for so long. I would also love to meet Katie Ledecky and Simone Biles. Also, Laura Hernandez. I'm listing so many people. Laura Hernandez, actually, I used to live in New Jersey, and she would go to this gymnastics club there, and I lived right next to it. So, like, I don't know. I felt like I knew her. I felt like we were friends. Anyway, that's how, yeah. Also, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese. Love to meet them. I'd love to meet Kate Martin. I love to meet Asia Wilson. Oh my gosh, I could literally, the list would go on forever. Yeah, so like literally, yeah. Oh, Jade Carey, I want to meet her so bad too. Oh, also, oh my gosh, I'm not going to stop listing people, but Jordan Chiles. If I meet her, I will literally cry. Yeah. Okay, so we're now going to take a break and then move on to the next segment where we're going to preview the Gymnastics Olympic Trials, which will be taking place tomorrow. Before we get into that, we're going to take a quick break, like I said 1,000 times, so I will see you guys very soon.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
Okay, I just unmuted my mic. I really hope that it wasn't like... Okay, I'm gonna like hope that everything audio-wise is working out and everyone can hear me right now. Okay. Anyway, welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the Eastbourne International, and now we're going to do a little preview of the U.S. Gymnastics Olympic Trials. This is the best time of the year. I honestly feel like sometimes the Olympic Trials are more exciting than the Olympics because you like know a lot of the people that are competing, and like there's so many like great contenders, and like I don't know. Sometimes, like the track and field ones especially, I'm like, oh my gosh, like so many of these student athletes, I'm like praying that they make it. Yeah, so anyway, we're now going to do a little preview of the Gymnastics Olympic Trials, and it starts tomorrow and it ends on Sunday, June 30th. The trials will be held at the Target Center in Minneapolis. On Monday, there was a press conference that discussed this event. Those who spoke at Monday's event included Lily Wong, the president and CEO of USA Gymnastics, and Wendy Blackshaw, the president and CEO of Minnesota Sports and Events. Governor Tim Walz, Senator Abby Klobuchar, and Minneapolis' Mayor Jacob Frey also spoke, and there will be over 6,000 gymnasts taking part in the trials, according to Blackshaw. A star-studded field, including 3 Olympic gold medalists in Simone Biles, Sunisa Lee, and Jade Carey, headlined the 2024 U.S. Gymnastics Olympic Team Trials. A selection committee, which includes 2008 Olympic silver medalists Alicia Sacramone, Tatiana Perskay, and Jessie Dizel, will select the remaining 4 team members, as well as 2 traveling and 2 non-traveling replacement athletes or alternates. For this preview, we are going to discuss a couple people to watch at the trials. So let's start with the obviously and absolutely iconic Simone Biles. Now, I am going to say one thing. I have been seeing a lot of news articles talking about like predictions for who they're going to pick for Simone Biles' team, like, or things that are like Simone Biles and the rest of the Olympian, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all Simone Biles' team. It's who's going to go with Simone Biles. Obviously, everyone knows Simone Biles is going to make the Olympic team. Like, that's obvious. But I don't know. I just feel like not enough credit is being given to other gymnasts. And it's so frustrating because as someone who literally went to the Xfinity World Championships and watched all of them, I'm literally like in awe with all of them. So I don't know. It just like is hard to like see that everyone's just like it's Simone Biles' team and everyone else is just there. Like things like that. I don't know. But I do get it because it's Simone Biles. Her level of difficulty is absolutely insane. And also, she kind of like is obviously going to be picked for the team. So, and she's like the best Olympian out there in gymnastics. Okay, so without a doubt, I do think she's going to finish in first. She literally came in first in every single event at the Xfinity U.S. Gymnastics Championships, and she took first in the all-around, obviously. She is one of the most decorated gymnasts, and her list of awards are extensive, but basically, I feel like I don't have to do much explaining for this. She just has that level of difficulty that is so much higher than everyone else's. It's obvious. She's going to be on the team. We know it. If she's not on the team, that would be literally insane. I don't even think that's not even no, that's not realistic. That could never happen. She's on the team unless she was injured. But oh my gosh, knock on wood. Please don't get injured, Simone Biles. I love you. Now let's turn our attention to Skye Blakely, who grabbed the runner-up spot at the Xfinity Championships. Her performance was truly captivating, marked by her artistry and the elegant, fluid moments and movements and artistic-y, like scorpions and things like that. Like, does that make sense? Like the dancing movements, if that, like, it's not just all flips and stuff. It's also dancing that she can do. That's really artistic. So however, she does need to fine-tune some smaller details on her floor exercise that to secure a top 3 finish consistently. Staying within the balance is crucial, as stepping out cost her valuable points at the Xfinity Championships. Although Blakely has yet to make her Olympic debut, having participated in the 2020 trials without securing a spot, I believe this could be her breakthrough year. She has demonstrated significant growth and potential throughout her junior and senior gymnastics career, showcasing her skills on both national and international stages. I'm really rooting for her to earn her place on the team this time around. Shifting focus to Jade Carey, her performance at the Xfinity Championships was solid, though not her strongest showing, with a 7th place finish. While impressive, it's clear that she has room to ramp up the complexity of her routines, particularly on the bars. As the Olympic trials approach, it will be crucial to see if she opts to elevate the difficulty levels of her routines, a move that could significantly enhance her appeal to the selection committee. Higher difficulty scores not only boost overall points, but also demonstrate an athlete's competitiveness at elite levels. Given her previous success, including a gold medal on the floor exercise at the 2020 Olympics, I have high hopes for Carey. Her experience and proven track record on the international stage make her a strong candidate for this year's Olympic team. I'm eager to see her push her boundaries and hopefully secure her spot once again. I'm going to take a quick break because I want to answer this question. Did you play sports? I did. That was the kind of kid I was. I also am a theater kid at the same time. I'm a Troy Bolton. I don't know. Someone please laugh at that. I'm laughing at my own joke. That's sad. Okay, so I played soccer. That was my life. Soccer was my entire life. I also played basketball. I'll be honest, I was very good at shooting. That was my thing. I also used to be very tall. So I was like a forward in basketball. But I played soccer and I was a goalkeeper, and that was like my entire life. So yeah. Except I got so many injuries. It was so bad. And then I also played softball, and then I also did CrossFit for a little while. And then now I do weightlifting a lot. So not much CrossFit, but I do love to weightlift, do those, all of that. And I do still play soccer. But yeah, soccer used to be my entire life. Okay, so next up, I love answering that question because it's so fun. Next up, we have Jordan Chiles. I'm a huge fan of her. She was a pivotal member of the 2020 Olympic team that clinched the silver medal, competing in multiple events during the team finals. At the recent Xfinity Championships, she placed 5th, and I'm optimistic about her performance at the trials. I fully expect her to land at the top 5 again, securing her place on the Olympic team. Given her contributions in 2020, it feels natural to anticipate her return to the team. Over the past few years, Jordan has shown remarkable improvement and has evolved into a more seasoned competitor. Her routines are not only technically impressive, but also infused with creativity, strength, and a dynamic personality that really makes her stand out. That's one of the reasons I really want to meet her, is because of her personality. I'm excited to see how she leverages this growth at the trials. Kayla DiCello. After securing 3rd at the Xfinity, I'm confident she'll maintain a top 5 position at the trials. This is a pivotal year for Kayla as she aims for her first Olympic appearance. Known for her impressive collegiate gymnastics skills, Kayla has captured significant attention over the past year. I strongly believe she has a solid chance of making the Olympic team, potentially even as an alternate. DiCello excels on the bars, although she did encounter a setback during her routine on the second day, which led to a substantial score deduction. Despite this, her ability to secure 3rd place overall speaks volumes about her resilience and skill level. It's clear that Kayla has the tenacity and talent to turn challenges into triumphs, and I'm eager to see her perform under the intense pressure of the trials. Let's talk about Chiles Jones. Recently, she opted out of competing at the Xfinity Championship and instead directly petitioned for the trials. At the Core Hydration Classic, though, which was a really long time ago, it was a little bit more than a month ago, I believe, Jones proved to be a formidable competitor, finishing 2nd in the all-around and clinching 1st place on the uneven bars, positioning herself as one of the team's USA top gymnasts, just behind Simone Biles. However, a shoulder injury prevented her participation at the Xfinity Championships, which cast some uncertainty about her readiness for the upcoming trials. Given the limited time for recovery that she's had, it is concerning whether she can perform at her usual best under the pressures of the trials. Injuries like hers are challenging, especially when there isn't much time to heal, and she might have to compete while still managing the issue. Without the injury, there's no doubt that Chiles Jones would be a top contender for the Olympic team. However, given her current situation and the fact that there aren't many updates on her injury, so I don't really know how it is at this moment, it's a waiting game to see if she can still overcome this hurdle and still secure her place on the team. Her resilience and previous performances certainly suggest she can, but it will all depend on how well she manages her recovery leading up to the trials, how well she did deal with her recovery before the trials, and how she is looking going into the trials. So now let's discuss Sunisa Lee. It's almost a given that she will be on the Olympic team again. At the 2020 Olympics, she clinched the gold medal in the individual all-around, becoming the 5th consecutive American woman to secure this title. She also earned a bronze medal on the even bars and contributed significantly to the U.S. team's silver medal in the team event. Given her track record, it would be astonishing if she isn't selected for the team this year, and she's performing just as well, so she really better be on that team. Turning our attention to Jocelyn Robertson, I'm generally so excited about her potential, despite her petite stature. Is that how you say that word? Stature, yeah. Robertson's performances are packed with power, reminiscent of gymnastics legend Shawn Johnson. Like, literally, they are the same person to me. Like, they had the same, like, smile, and, like, when they're, like, performing, I literally feel like it's Shawn Johnson up there. So during the Xfinity Championship, she was phenomenal on the bars, vault, and floor, demonstrating not just agility, but explosive power and creativity that really make her stand out. She finished 10th, a respectable position, though it might not be enough to secure her a definitive spot on the Olympic team this time around. However, her performance, particularly her third place finish and the all-around at the Winter Cup in 2022, shows she has the chops to be a strong contender, potentially as an alternate. Her dynamic presence and artistic flair would be an asset to Team USA, and I do really hope that she does make the team, maybe as an alternate. Okay, Tiana Suminasekera is definitely a gymnast to watch. She secured a 9th place finish at last weekend's event, and her standout performances, particularly on the floor, make her a strong candidate for an alternate spot on the Olympic team. While she didn't compete in the previous Olympics, she trains at the World Champion Center alongside top talents like Simone Biles and Jordan Chiles. This high-caliber training environment has allowed her to hone her skills and adopt techniques that position her as a compelling contender for the team. Suminasekera's performances are marked by her artistry and the elegant lines created by her impressive physical attributes. Her long legs and expressive footwork add a captivating aesthetic to her routines, especially in floor. Her presence could add both dynamicism and diversity to the U.S. team, making her an invaluable asset should the selection committee aim to blend experienced Olympians with fresh talent. Her potential inclusion could indeed enrich the team's overall performance profile on the international stage. Leanne Wong is a standout candidate for this year's Olympic team. She recently placed 8th in the all-around at the Xfinity competition, positioning her well for consideration not only as an alternate, but potentially for the full spot on the team. Earlier this year, she demonstrated her exceptional capabilities by scoring a perfect 10 against LSU and earning the title of SEC Gymnast of the Week, underscoring her readiness for high-level competition. Wong's prowess extends beyond national competitions. Her international experience includes winning a silver medal in the all-around and a bronze on the floor exercise at the 2021 World Championships. She also served as an alternate for the U.S. Olympic team during the Tokyo 2020 Olympics. Given her history as an alternate and her continuous improvement over the past few years, it seems highly probable that she will secure a more prominent role this time around. Her consistent enhancement of skills makes her a strong case for her inclusion in any capacity. With her proven track record and upward trajectory, it would be a significant oversight for Team USA not to include Leanne Wong in their Olympic lineup, like in some way. Lastly, let's highlight a few gymnasts who haven't received much media attention yet. Starting with Zoe Malomo, who just missed the top 10 at the Xfinity US Gymnastics Championships, placing 11th. Zoe excels in vault and bars, showcasing formidable skills in these events. However, her performances on beam and floor are less strong. This could be a concern since the U.S. team, likely including all-rounder Simone Biles, needs gymnasts who can excel particularly on bars and floor. It's uncertain whether Malomo's current skill set will come with the team's need in this cycle. Moving on to Hesley Rivera, who has recently caught my attention with her impressive performances. She finished 6th in the all-around at the Xfinity Championship, demonstrating strong skills in beam, bars, and vault. Her level of difficulty in these events makes her a promising candidate for the Olympic team. Although she's only 16, her prowess suggests she could serve well as an alternate, bringing fresh talent and perspective to the team. Next, we have Simone Rose, also 16. Simone's youth might preclude her from making the Olympic team this year. Similarly, another young competitor, Dulcie Kaler, finishes beautifully, but she faces a challenge due to her lower level of difficulty and her routines compared to other contenders, likely sidelining her for this Olympic cycle. Evelyn Lowe, who placed, or Evie Lowe, who placed 13th at the Xfinity Championship, has shown great potential. While it may not be her year to join the Olympic team, her trajectory suggests strong possibilities for future competitions, particularly the 2028 Olympics, if she continues to advance her skills. Lastly, Kalai Lincoln is another gymnast who, despite not having prior Olympic experience and remarkable performances in other competitions, may not make the team this year. Her time may come in future cycles as she continues to develop her competitive edge. These athletes, though not in the spotlight now, show significant promise and could play crucial roles in future gymnastics competitions depending on their development and how they leverage their skills in upcoming events. Okay, so we're now going to move on to the next segment where we talk about the PWHL offseason. Before we start, we're going to be taking a little short break, so I will see you guys very soon.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done previewing the U.S. Gymnastics Olympic Trials, and now we're going to be talking about the PWHL off-season moves, starting with something that is a bit more specific, the PWHL's approach to player contracts during the off-season, because there has been a change here. Okay. So let's just dive right in. So the offseason has seen a significant shift in the PWHL's approach to player contracts, with an increasing number of deals being guaranteed. This change addresses a major point of critique from both the PWHL and the PWHL's Player Association, or the PWHL-PA, which previously highlighted the lack of contract protection under the former at-will agreement that allowed teams to release players at any time for any reason. During the exclusive signing window leading up to June 21st, all contracts signed were guaranteed. This pattern continued with a multi-year contract signed before the second season, marking a substantial move toward more secure employment for players. So here are some notable guaranteed contracts made this season. Montreal made significant moves by signing Lena Ligblum and Kayla Barnes to 3-year contracts. They also secured Mayala Kopel, Elaine Chuli, and Amanda Bollier with 1-year and 2-year guaranteed deals, respectively. Additionally, Boston inserted stability by signing Hannah Brandt, Sophie Shirley, and Emily Brown to 2-year guaranteed contracts, while Sydney Morin received a 1-year guaranteed deal. Likewise, New York retained Corrine Schroeder on a 2-year guaranteed contract. Furthermore, Ottawa welcomed Natalie Snodgrass and Zoe Boyd on 1-year guaranteed contracts. Katerina Marzova also secured a guaranteed deal by signing on June 20th. Moreover, Toronto committed to Dara Watts and Emma Woods with 2-year guaranteed contracts. And then lastly, Minnesota strengthened the roster by signing draft picks Britta Curl and Clara Hemlerova to guaranteed contracts. The current collective bargaining agreement does not explicitly lay out the rules for guaranteed contracts, allowing the document to evolve. According to PWHL policy, there are basically 3 fundamental rules. 1, all multi-year agreements signed before Season 2 are guaranteed. 2, 1-year deals inked during the exclusive window are guaranteed. And 3, 1-year agreements signed after June 20th are not guaranteed and can be terminated based on performance. With these changes, more players across the league are enjoying the security of guaranteed contracts. Presently, New York and Ottawa each have 12 players under guaranteed contracts. Minnesota follows closely with 13, while Toronto and Montreal have 14 each, and Boston leads with 15. As teams continue to secure their top draft picks, the number of guaranteed contracts is expected to increase, enhancing stability and predictability for players and teams alike. This shift not only secures the livelihoods of the players, but also signals the maturing of the league's approach to player relations and team dynamics. The PWHL's move to hook players up with more guaranteed contracts is a huge game changer in how the league shows its appreciation and support for its athletes. Is a big win for the players, giving them way more stability and security in the old at-will contracts that could see them dropped at a drop of a hat. It's pretty clear the league is paying more attention to what the players and their association have been pushing for: better job protection and security. Strategically, it's a smart move too. By locking in key players with guaranteed deals, teams can plan for the future, build their squads with long-term vision, and create a solid team vibe. This stability is likely to boost how well teams perform because, let's face it, players who feel secure and valued usually play better and are more committed to their team's success. For a league that's still kind of finding its feet, setting up these forward-thinking labor practices lays down some strong roots for growth. It shows that the PWHL really cares about its athletes and is serious about their well-being, which isn't just good for keeping talent around, but also draws new talent in. That said, the collective bargaining agreement is still a work in progress. While it's great and it's flexible and can evolve, it needs clear communication and precise terms to avoid any mix-ups and make sure everything's fair. The League and Players Association needs to keep a tight partnership to tweak these policies, making sure they're good for everyone involved, though. All in all, the PWHL's shift toward guaranteed contracts is a huge step forward. It's not only about making the league look good, but also about making women's hockey a more professional and competitive sport. With these changes setting in, we're looking at a more stable, competitive, and fair environment for everyone hitting the ice. Now let's talk about the recent offseason moves in the PWHL. This past season proved that parity is real in the PWHL, as even teams that missed the playoffs put up fierce fights in the semis. Toronto and Minnesota stretched to a full 5 games, while Boston and Montreal battled through multiple overtimes in all their games. But post-draft and free agency, we're seeing some potentially game-changing moves. The finals featured the number 3 and number 4 ranked teams, highlighting just how critical momentum and confidence are. Boston, initially seen as a top contender, struggled but found their stride just in time, storming into the finals with newfound vigor. With the draft influenced by regular season standings, Boston and Minnesota capitalized on early picks, scooping up talents like Hannah Bilka and Claire Thompson. Montreal, picking later, still managed to win with Kayla Barnes, who many argue might have more potential than Thompson. Montreal wasn't just sitting pretty, they were strategic, snagging promising talents like Abby Boring and Amanda Kessel, who could be game changers or valuable trade assets. We'll talk about them some more later. They also locked in Lena Lugblom from last year's draft, showing they're serious about boosting their squad. Toronto, after topping the regular season, made the 6th pick, drafting Julia Gosling. They've enforced their lineup, notably adding Megan Carter, a solid defensive playmaker. When free agency hit, teams first re-signed their players with no major surprises until Toronto made headlines by snatching Emma Woods from New York and landing the top free agent Dara Watts from Ottawa. This flurry of activity has everyone already guessing next season's lineups and spotting potential weaknesses. Ottawa and Minnesota seem a bit shaky, Ottawa losing key players and Minnesota dealing with internal changes and retirements, sparking rumors of locker room issues. On the flip side, New York looks promising with new coach Greg Fargo and first overall pick Sarah Fillier poised to turbo-change their scoring. They've also kept solid players like Corrine Schroeder and Abby Levy, positioning them as possible underdogs this coming season. As teams like Toronto, Montreal, and Boston appear to be bulking up for the strong run, Ottawa and Minnesota might be slipping unless they make some smart moves soon. With the league's dynamics quickly changing, this upcoming season could see some teams solidifying their dominance while others scramble to keep up. It's all about moving forward. If you're not, you're likely falling behind. As we edge closer to the new season, it'll be fascinating to see how these offseason moves play out on the ice. So the last thing I wanted to talk about this segment was trading during the offseason and answer the question, should PWHL Montreal trade Abby Boren or Amanda Kessel? Okay, so let me just pull up their pictures. Okay, so before the first year players could opt out of the PWHL draft to become reserves, a choice offered to a select few, including Abby Boren, due to special circumstances like her commitment to a doctor of pharmacy program at the University of Minnesota. Boren managed to balance her demanding academic schedule with professional hockey thanks to a supportive academic environment. However, her situation grew complicated when Montreal drafted her. The team has been exploring options for Boren to continue her studies in Montreal, possibly at McGill, but it's been challenging. The difficulties in coordinating her academic transfers are fueling trade rumors, as only Minnesota provides the geographical and academic setting she requires. Despite this, Montreal is unlikely to let her go cheaply if a trade with Minnesota is pursued. They would likely demand a significant return, possibly eyeing players like Michaela Kava, Liz Shepers, or Denisa Krasova, whom they've had shown interest in the past. Amanda Kessel's situation is equally precarious. Known for her scoring prowess, Kessel has expressed a desire to play only in Boston, even hinting at a salary expectation to deter other teams. However, Montreal surprised many by drafting her with their final pick. Montreal's general manager, Danielle Suavaju, expressed post-draft that drafted players should be prepared to play in any market, a stance that complicates Kessel's position. Boston would likely be interested in acquiring Kessel and can afford her, but the trade's complexity is heightened by familial ties. Kessel's sister-in-law, Courtney Kessel, is Boston's head coach. Negotiating a trade for Kessel won't be straightforward. Montreal knows her value exceeds that of typical late-round picks and will expect a substantial return, potentially targeting a player like Lorian Gable for her offensive skills, or maybe even Taylor Gerard or Teresa Schatzel, though the latter trades would require additional assets from Boston. Both scenarios highlight Montreal's complex position of managing player expectations and team needs. How they navigate these trades could set precedents for handling similar situations in the future, underscoring the delicate balance between player desires and team strategies in professional sports. My opinion is that Montreal's approach to handling Abby Boring's unique situation could set a significant precedent in the league for how teams manage players with dual career paths, particularly those involving intensive academic commitments. The difficulty in transferring her academic credits to a suitable program in Montreal demonstrates a genuine effort on the team's part, yet it also showcases the complexities involved when a player's personal development goals are at odds with their professional opportunities. If a satisfactory solution can't be found, trading Boring to Minnesota, where she can continue her studies and play, would be the most humane and practical solution. It respects the player's career and educational aspirations while potentially bringing back valuable assets to Montreal, maintaining a good precedent for future scenarios while player welfare and team strategy must be balanced. In Amanda Kessel's case, the situation is more about the balance of player preference and team needs. Kessel's explicit desire to play in Boston, coupled with familial connections within the team, presents a complex challenge. Montreal's decision to draft her despite these preferences may seem bold and could be viewed as asserting the team's authority over player inclinations. However, this could potentially backfire, affecting Kessel's morale and her performance on the ice. A trade to Boston, if it could bring a suitable return, might be the best outcome for all parties involved. It would allow Kessel to play where she feels most at home and motivated, while Montreal could gain assets that align more closely with their strategic goals and team dynamics. So we're now going to move on to our next segment where we talk about the OU softball key transfer portal additions. Before we get into that, we're going to be taking a very short break, so I will see you guys very soon. Welcome back, everybody, to the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We just got done talking about the PWHL offseason, and now we're going to transfer to talking about transfers. Oh my gosh, no pun intended. I'm so funny. I'm so sorry, guys. That was a really lame pun. We're going to talk about OU Oklahoma Sooners, their softball key transfer portal additions, and we're focusing on the Oklahoma Sooners because they won the 2024 World College World Series, so we all want to know how their roster is going to be impacted for next season because now they're at 4-peat wins. Okay, so in a strategic move to bolster their outfield, the Oklahoma Sooners have secured Utah standout Albie Dayton through the transfer portal. Okay, so Dayton is from Utah, and she led the Pac-12 with a .431 batting average in 2024, and she's bringing impressive stats, including a 1.109 OPS, 28 RBIs, and 38 runs scored. She's known for her speed. She notched 2 home runs and 6 triples last season and maintained a flawless fielding record with no errors and 5 assists. She's a native of Riverside, California, and is an alumni of Norco High School, which also produced Sooners talents like Kinsey Hansen. Her connection to the OU program extends beyond her high school. She played under OU coach Patty Gasso's son, DJ, who served as their hitting coach in 2023. Additionally, former Sooners star Paige Parker is currently Utah's pitching coach, underscoring the interconnected paths between these, programs. The acquisition of Dayton comes at a crucial time for OU, which is looking to fill the gaps left by the departure of outfielders Jada Coleman and Riley Boone. With Cassidy Pickering as the only returning outfield starter, Dayton's experience and skill will be vital for the Sooners as they aim to maintain their competitive edge. Dayton has 2 seasons eligibility left, offering the Sooners a valuable asset in their quest for continued success. Also, AU secured former North Carolina catcher Isabella Ermingling as their first transfer portal commitment this offseason. The announcement was made on Friday, marking a strong start to the team's recruitment efforts. Ermingling, an experienced catcher, joins the Sooners after 2 impactful years at North Carolina, where she posted impressive stats last season, including a .323 batting average, a 1.103 OPS, and a .685 slugging percentage. She also led the Tar Heels with 14 home runs and 53 RBIs, adding 5 doubles over 48 games. Ermingling's expertise behind the plate was a key factor in her recruitment by OU's coaching staff. She is expected to step into the significant role left by Kenzie Hansen, who recently graduated but will remain involved with the team as a graduate assistant. This connection will likely prove beneficial for Ermingling as she transitions into her new team. During her redshirt freshman year in 2023, Ermingling demonstrated versatility by making 48 starts, splitting her time between catcher and first base. She had redshirted the 2022 season due to injury, but has since rebounded strongly. Originally from Martinez, California, Ermingling will have 2 years of eligibility remaining with the Sooners, promising a bright future for both her and the team. Former BYU shortstop Aliana Abayani has committed to the Oklahoma Sooners, announcing her decision on Instagram this Tuesday. She's a versatile sophomore and also showcased her pitching skills last season with the Cougars. During her standout 2024 season, she led BYU with a robust .424 batting average, complemented by 30 walks and an impressive .534 on base percentage. Her dynamic presence was felt on the base paths as well, where she accumulated 9 doubles, 2 triples, and 5 home runs, successfully stealing 12 bases out of the 15 attempts. On the mound, the right-hander contributed 23 innings, recording a 5.78 ERA. Despite these pitching challenges, her prowess at shortstop remained unquestioned. Abayani has previous experience at left fields, having played a pivotal role in BYU's upset over OU on April 12th. In that game, she went 4 for 5, driving in a pair of runs to secure the victory. And a significant roster shift within the SEC, former Oklahoma utility player Quincy Lilio has announced her transfer to South Carolina, sharing the news via Instagram her Sunday. Lilio was part of a trio from Oklahoma entering the transfer portal on June 10th, which also included Avery Hodge moving to LSU and S.J. Guerin joining Auburn, keeping all 3 athletes in the competitive Southeastern Conference. During the 2024 season, Lilio had a challenging year at the plate with only 31 at-bats, securing a .129 batting average, driving in 5 RBIs and earning 10 walks against 6 strikeouts. Her versatility on the field was evident as she played both second base and outfield. In 2023, she started 12 games and made appearances in a total of 47 games for the Sooners. As a redshirt freshman, Lilio showed promising potential, batting .275 with a home run, 2 doubles, and a triple, accumulating 9 RBIs. Her move to South Carolina marks a new chapter where she will likely seek to maximize her collegiate career in a fresh setting. Former Oklahoma infielder Avery Hodge has announced her new destination. She'll be joining the LSU Tigers, staying within the SEC. Hodge, who played under Patty Gasso for 2 years, revealed her decision on Instagram last Thursday. She stepped up during the 2024 Women's College World Series, hitting 4 for 12 after an injury to Elena Torres made her a full-time starter. Throughout the season, she posted a solid .284 batting average with 9 RBIs, 5 doubles, 11 walks, and 9 strikeouts across 74 at-bats. Known for her defensive prowess, Hodge primarily played second base when Torres was healthy. She entered the transfer portal on June 10th, along with teammates Quincy Lilio and S.J. Guerin, shortly after Oklahoma secured their 4th consecutive national title. And now we can actually go into talking about Guerin, because I keep mentioning her name here. So she's a standout left-handed pitcher from Texas, near Austin, I believe. She announced on Saturday via social media that she will be transferring to Auburn University. Guerin, who spent 2 seasons with Patty Gasso Oklahoma Sooners, entered the program as one of the nation's top-ranked pitching prospects. Sitting at 5'8", Guerin was the number 25 overall recruit according to Softball America, the number 10 prospect by Flow Softball, and ranked as the number 7 pitcher by Extra Innings Softball. During her freshman year in 2023, Guerin redshirted. In the 2024 season, she made an impressive impact, appearing in 9 games and achieving a 2-0 record with a team-best .70 earned run average. Over 10 innings, she struck out 9 batters, contributed to 3 shutouts, and helped opponents to her team-low .118 batting average. Her move to Auburn marks a significant addition to the Tigers roster as they gain a highly skilled pitcher with a proven track record from one of the top collegiate softball programs in the country. So Oklahoma is preparing to reload for the 2025 season with 8 incoming freshmen and 8 returning players. So let's dive into their complete roster here. Sydney Sanders will return as the team's lone senior, and she's entering her third year in the program after transferring from Arizona State after her freshman season. Throughout the 2024 softball season, Sydney Sanders maintained an impressive batting average, consistently delivering at the plate. She emerged as one of the leading home runner hitters on her team, showcasing her power and ability to change the game with a single swing. During the WCWS, Sanders came up with several crucial hits that helped her team advance through the tournament. Her timely hitting was a major factor in her team's success. She continued her power hitting display in the World Series, adding to her season total and putting her team in advantageous positions. Left-handed pitcher Kirsten Deal will be the most experienced arm on OU's pitching staff, and junior Hannah Cora returned to the outfield. Throughout the 2024 season, Kirsten Deal demonstrated her prowess on both offense and defense. As a key player for her team, Deal consistently delivered strong performances at the plate, maintaining a solid batting average. Her ability to hit for power and average made her a formidable presence in the lineup. Hannah Core showcased her all-around abilities both at the plate and in the field. She maintained a high batting average, consistently getting on base and driving in runs. Her power hitting was a key factor for her team, as she frequently hit home runs and extra base hits, providing crucial run support. Additionally, Core demonstrated excellent plate discipline, drawing walks and contributing to a high on-base percentage. Right-handed flamethrower Peyton Monticelli is also slated to return after pitching 19 1/3 innings in a Sooner uniform last year. Monticelli consistently delivered strong performances, maintaining an impressive ERA and racking up strikeouts. Her ability to control games with her pitching repertoire made her a cornerstone of her team's defense. Adding the crucial experience of Cassidy Pickering and Ella Parker gained throughout 2024, and there's a solid foundation for the 2025 Sooners. As a key player for her team, Pickering maintained an impressive batting average, consistently delivering hits and driving in runs. Her power and ability to hit for extra bases made her a formidable threat in the lineup. Additionally, her speed and smart base running added another dimension to her offensive game. Ella Parker showcased her exceptional skills both offensively and defensively. At the plate, Parker maintained a high batting average, consistently delivering key hits and driving in runs. Maya Bland, who was primarily used as a pinch runner, and Nellie McEnroe Marinas, who redshirted this past year after sustaining an injury, also will be back in Norman next year. Maya Bland demonstrated her exceptional skills and versatility on the field. As a key player for her team, Bland maintained a high batting average, consistently delivering key hits and driving in runs. Her power hitting ability was evidenced as she frequently hit home runs and extra base hits, significantly contributing to her team's offense. Associate head coach, and this is Micaron Marinas right here. Associate head coach and pitching coach Jennifer Rocha will add left-handed pitcher Audrey Lowry to join her pitching staff in the talented 2024 freshman class. Tiamello, Oklahoma product caddy McKay, OC, Batbuster, Gabby Garcia, and Rockland, California signee Sydney Barker could all compete for the time in the infield. The Sooners also signed a pair of catchers in Riley Satch and Corey Hicks, and an in-state starter Chainlee Helton could slot into OU's outfield. So that concludes our show for today. Thank you guys so much for tuning into the GSMC Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, presented to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Your support means a lot to us, so please remember to subscribe to the show and leave a positive review. It really does make a difference. We also invite you to follow us on Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram for more content and updates. Thank you guys once again, and have a wonderful day.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great.